Welcome to Jen's Daily Dish. Today we're going to be making New York Style Cheesecake. You can hear the song in your head. New York, New York, it's a hell of a town. The Bronx is up and the Battery's down. But in case you don't have that song in your head, you will now. And we're gonna make a delicious version of this with a graham cracker crust instead of the crust that's called for in the King Arthur flour recipe. It'll be delicious. It's my husband's favorite. And let's get started. First thing that you're gonna do is get out your springform pan. I have a 10-inch springform pan. The recipe calls for a 9-inch version, so I'm gonna make a little bit extra of the crust and it will turn out just fine, I promise. If you don't have a springform pan, feel free to use any sort of deep dish pie pan. Anything you've got will really work. Don't forget to grease your pan with butter. Super important. I'm using honey-made graham crackers for this recipe, and that will turn out really well, but feel free to change it up. You can use ginger snaps, you could use chocolate wafers, pretty much anything you want. Before I start crushing these babies, be sure to preheat your oven to 375 degrees so it'll be ready to go when you are. Put some of the graham crackers in a Ziploc baggie, and you're going to want it to add up to 1 3/4 cups. This looks about right. We're gonna crush them and see how that goes. I start by just crushing them with my hands, and then later going with the rolling pin. It's pretty well crushed, so now let's see if we have enough to fill my 2-cup measuring cup. That's just about right. Into the bowl it goes. Adding in 1/4 cup of confectioner sugar. Next, we're gonna melt 6 tablespoons of butter and put that in. Melted butter, in it goes. Mix it all up. Get the crumb mixture in the pan, and we're gonna be pressing it into the bottom as well as up the sides. Into the oven it goes for 15 minutes. Keep an eye on it just in case, but it should fill the kitchen with a yummy smell, and it shouldn't be too dark brown. It should just be golden. Let it cool, and then we're gonna work on the filling. Here are all of the ingredients that are going to go into the yummy cheesecake filling. We've got our eggs room temperature, our vanilla, our salt, our flour, our sugar, our sour cream room temperature. So much cream cheese, but it's worth it. It is worth it. And the surprising addition of a lemon. We're gonna add some lemon zest in. I originally thought that adding lemon zest into a New York style cheesecake was strange and that it might be too lemony, and I didn't want to make a lemon cheesecake. But actually, it kind of cuts all of the yummy cheesiness just right. It totally makes this cheesecake very special and delicious, and one of the best you will ever try in your lives. All the cream cheese, the flour, and the sugar will go into the mixing bowl. I'm using Philadelphia cream cheese because it's a great cream cheese to use for this recipe. One 3/4 cup of sugar, 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Into the mixer. Low speed until they're incorporated. Check it and make sure that it's getting down to the bottom of the bowl. Low speed again. Scrape it down one more time, making sure there are no lumps. It does not look like there are any lumps in here. It's nice and creamy and smells delicious. One more time. Add the lemon zest, salt, and vanilla. Mix to combine. Make sure nothing got stuck on the top of the paddle like some of the lemon zest did. Scrape down the sides. The recipe asks for 1 egg to be dropped in at a time. This is not a skill of mine that I have, but we're gonna try it. So let's see if I can make this happen. I actually did it! That is really, I think, the first time I've ever made that work, but kudos to me for giving it a go. Scrape down the sides again. You want to make sure that everything is fully incorporated. We're gonna let it go a little bit more just to make sure it's really well blended. At this point, it looks like everything is fully incorporated, and we're gonna add in the sour cream by hand. I'm gonna stir in the sour cream by hand. So I'm just gonna fold it into the mixture. All right, you all cannot smell this, but this smells so good. It is ready to put into the crust. So let's go ahead and do that. Yum. Now you'll notice that the cheesecake filling is going to go above and beyond the graham crackers, and that's gonna be fine. Bake this for 45 to 50 minutes at 325 degrees. You're gonna want the middle to be a little bit jiggly and the edges to look a little bit more set, because then what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up the oven door after the 45 to 50 minutes and let it cool down for another hour in the oven. It sounds complicated. I promise you it's not. Okay, let's check it. It's wobbly for sure. It does look very undercooked, but look at the edges. You see how they don't move? They may be set, so we might be where we need to be. I'm going to use my Therm Pro instant rethermometer, and I'm gonna stick it in 1 inch from the edge and see if it reaches 175 degrees. Oh, look at that, 175. We are there. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna close the oven. The cheesecake is exactly where we need it to be, at that 175, 1 inch from the edge. Edges are set, middle is wobbly, perfect. We're gonna leave the oven ajar, turn it off, and let it sit and finish cooking for the next hour. It's been an hour, now let's take it out. It's not wobbly anymore. We're gonna let it sit out for about half an hour and then put it in the refrigerator for another hour or more, and then we're gonna take a bite. It's cooled down from the oven and into the fridge it goes. It has cooled in the refrigerator. Now for the moment of truth. I'm a little scared. All right, we ready? I'm gonna pop this open. Oh, oh, yay, it worked, yay. I don't know how it happened, but it looks like the graham cracker crust that I was concerned about actually somehow magically fits the cheesecake. I am super happy about this. Now let's taste a bite. Okay, here we go. Moment of truth. Ooh, I can feel how creamy it is just with a knife. Let's take a little slither. See, can I get it out in one clean piece? Ah! Yay! Now for the bite. I can tell you, as usually happens to me, The crust in the bottom corner is always a little bit thicker. It's something I'm working on. But I can see how creamy it is. The graham cracker crust is still intact and it looks delicious. Here we go. That is really good. It is cheesy, and the lemon, you barely taste it. It's just like a hint of it, and it sort of cuts it and adds to it, sort of like salt does to something sweet. This is delicious. Seriously, if you have a husband like mine who loves cheesecake, you gotta make this. Don't forget to like this video and to subscribe. I also would love to hear your comments, or if you have a recipe that you've been dying for me to try. Recipes to follow will be gazpacho, I have spelt pita coming, the oatmeal chocolate chip bars are coming too. But you gotta try this cheesecake. If I can do it, you can do it too. This is so good. I'm just gonna eat the whole piece, honestly. In your ears. New York, New York, it's a hell of a town. The Bronx is up and the something is down. Before we start crushing those graham crackers, hold on. First thing that we're gonna do is we took out our springform pan. Springform.